Hey, Veritas, just a quick interjection here on the meaning of life and all this other kind of good stuff that you've been talking about lately. Yeah, these are very important questions. Like I said in my comments to you, I mean, the very fact that people get very emotional when they're talking about this kind of stuff is a sure sign. Okay, that's a sure sign that these are very, very important contexts and very, very important topics. Okay, but my contention is okay, and I would like to see a biblical. My contention is that biblical based religions are explicitly and of their own desire and of their own self description, biblical religions are meaningless, literally. Okay, and the text that I would use as an authority for this is, of course, the book of Ecclesiastes. I'll be reading from the NIV. This actually is the last Bible that I bought while I was a believer. I bought it while I was in grad school, so it's kind of a bittersweet Bible for me, but it has a very good translation of Ecclesiastes in my personal opinion. Now, you said in some of your comments there that you said that you think that the speaker in Ecclesiastes here, we might as well call him King Solomon. He was taking on the naturalistic mindset. And I strongly disagreed with that in my comments. And I just want to show if you read the text itself, okay, this is really it's really not the case, okay. Whoever is speaking here, King Solomon, is definitely a theist. Okay, he definitely believes in God. He never for once questions the existence of God. He does admit that he's wrong sometimes, but it's always he's saying this. I thought this would give me meaning, but this did not give me meaning. I thought this would give me meaning, but this would not give me meaning. It's never the case that he says, "Oh, but there really is a God, therefore there's a meaning." He never says anything like that. Okay, let's just start out. Okay, let's look at the context of some of these things. Okay, let's start with at the beginning, Ecclesiastes 1 verse 1. The words of the teacher, son of David, king in Jerusalem. So we're talking about Solomon here, right? Verse 2. Meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher. Utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. Okay? So that is the context of the book. That is his opening statement. That is his thesis statement, okay? Everything is meaningless. Utterly meaningless. Let's just bop down here to verse 12. I, the teacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem. I devoted myself to study and to explore by wisdom all that is done under heaven. What a heavy burden that God has laid on men. I have seen all things that are done under the sun. All of them are meaningless, a chasing after the wind. So, Veritas, the Bible's an interesting book. I mean, every once in a while, it just kind of takes you to the side and says, okay, you've seen the PR, you've seen the fluff here, you've seen the comforting thoughts that we've offered. Okay, now let me tell you the real score. Okay, Ecclesiastes. I have no idea how Ecclesiastes got in the Bible. Really, it's amazing to me that it did. That in the book of Job, but the book of Job is another one of these books. I mean, in the book of Job, basically the message of the book of Job is bad things are going to happen to you, and you're going to get absolutely no explanation as to why they do. There is no answer to the question, why do bad things happen to good people? Job at the end of the book, he gets no explanation whatsoever. Ecclesiastes is another one of these things, okay? It just basically takes you to the side and says, listen, okay, you've seen the PR, but here's the real score, okay? It's meaningless. There is no meaning to anything that happens under the sun, okay? And it's not that God comes in and gives the meaning. Okay, let's take a look at um, chapter 3 here. All right, chapter 3, verse 18. I also thought, as for men, God tests them so that they can see that they are like the animals. Man's fate is like the animals. The same fate awaits them both. As one dies, so dies the other. All have the same breath. Man has no advantage over the animals. Everything is meaningless. Okay, I'm reading from the Bible here. Okay, this is like the last thing you'd ever expect to see in the Bible. Okay, humanity is the same as the animals. We have the same breath. I mean, the same functions, bodily functions that we have, is the same. We're the same as the animals. Okay, and what happens to you when you die? Okay, this is the Bible speaking here. Okay, Ecclesiastes 3:20. All go to the same place. All come from one dust, and to dust they all return. Who knows if the spirit of man rises upward and the spirit of the animal goes down? Nobody knows. Okay, so it's like the last thing that you'd expect to find in the Bible. Okay, a blatant admission. Okay, what happens to us after our death is a complete mystery. Nobody knows what happens to you, and as far as we can tell from like the physical processes, we're all dust. Both humans and the animals, we breathe the same breath, and when we die, there's really no advantage of one to the other. So, at any rate, just in sum here, okay, this idea that religion should give you a meaning to your life, I don't see it anywhere in the Bible. I would like to see a biblical case to where religion actually gives you meaning. Okay, I haven't read much of the Quran, but I don't think the Quran gives you meaning either. Maybe some Muslim scholars would like to hop in here. I think this idea that I think this idea that religion is supposed to give you meaning is very foreign to Abrahamic religions. I think this idea that I mean, religion should give you certain things. Obviously, it should give you, say, a set of laws. Okay, a system of morality. It should give you this sort of thing, duties that you're supposed to do. For sure, yeah. That's one thing that religion is supposed to do for you. But I don't see there where religion ever is going to give you a meaning. And I think explicitly in the book of Ecclesiastes, it says explicitly everything really is meaningless. You're not going to get meaning from God or anything else that happens under the sun. This idea that there should be a meaning, I think this doesn't come from religion at all. I think this comes from philosophy. In particular, I think this comes from bad philosophy. I think this comes from an excess of Platonism. I think the idea that there should be some meaning to your life, or there should be some big picture where this all adds up, and this big picture where it makes sense and the ends are all tightly off. I think that comes from Socrates and Plato and his school, and I think it's been pretty well discredited. So, at any rate, Veritas, okay, I'd like to know, what's the meaning of your life? How do you know? How are you so sure that you know that life has a meaning? How are you so sure that you know that there is meaning out there? And what is the meaning of your life? How do you know that your life has meaning? What gives your life meaning? And I really like to see a biblical exposition of this. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.